To answer your first point that you were tossing out there on if it changes my opinion on Minnesota's like coaches, I don't think so. Like I don't like I know what Flores is. I think I know what Josh McCown is also. The last two games doesn't really change that for me. If God forbid, Washington, not Washington, excuse. Well, yeah, I guess Washington, but Washington puts up a bunch of points on Detroit or whatever. I'm not going to let that one game sway me. Um, so I think I don't think we should put too much stock into it from the coaching perspective, if that's what you're tossing out there.
Yeah, it's sort of, I'd be lying if I said it didn't impact me a little bit because the last 2 weeks of Minnesota football, like forget Sam, but like Flores and his defense just felt like they did not come ready and prepared to play in like the biggest games of the season. One, to win the division, and two, to just win in the playoffs. And that at least gives me some pause, especially like I did like more deep dive stuff onto like Flores as well. And just, he gives me the heebie jeebies at times with how he's like blown through coaches. He had 5 OCs in 3 years, 4 offensive line coaches in that same time. Tua actively encouraged his teammates to vote against him for team captain so he didn't have to spend more time with Brian Flores. And you compound that with the Ryan Fitzpatrick comments, I'm just like, oh man, this like, I feel like we're just asking for it if we do that. And that's like a total pivot on like where I was like a week ago.
Yeah, you have gone. I think you put yourself in a pretzel in the last 7 days because the last time we spoke on this
Yes.
show, I think Flores was one of maybe not your top, but one of the names that you were comfortable with. He's
Yep.
he's definitely one of my names too. I like Aaron Glenn a lot. I think my prediction is that it is going to end up being Aaron Glenn, but my mind hasn't changed on Flores from this past week. But there's legit concern with each one of those candidates, and I think you bring up a legitimate concern with Flores. I'm not saying he is the most perfect candidate. It's guaranteed to work no matter what. I think, bringing that up is definitely valid and fair criticisms of Flores. For me, what I like is that he has the head coaching experience already. I thought the teams that he had in Miami overachieved each year. Like they were supposed to be the
Mm.
worst team in football that first year, and they won
Yep.
5 games and a 9-win season and a 10-win season. And then he's let go. And I also kind of like that. I don't think he's gonna let the team push him around. Like I think he's going to
Mm.
be no nonsense guy, similar to Vrabel. Now Vrabel has a lot more cachet than Brian Flores does, but I think the Jets need that kind of mindset. And by the way, I think Glenn has it too, just based
Mm.
off some of his comments. I've been watching a lot of interviews with him and
Mm.
some clips from Hard Knocks and a whole lot of things. And I think that's the kind of philosophy that they need from their head coach.
Yeah, I think a strong-willed person that can kind of put Woody in his place, and I feel like Glenn should probably be able to do that. Flores, I feel like is sort of the dad's home from work. Like this is like the sort of the
Wait till your father
example.
gets home.
Yeah, it's just like, oh no, this isn't great. And like, how does the locker room react to that after having sort of like the players coach in Salah? And Flores, that defense in Minnesota really has shined, like overall over the course of the last few years. He gets there, they're 24th in the league. First year through, 11th in the league. Second year, they're number 2 in the league. So there's definitely, a high standard that he holds his players to. Even Fitzpatrick said that he got the most out of his players, and that's something I feel like the Jets coaches haven't had in a long time.
Oh,
So that is the really big benefit to Brian Flores, and his penalties too. The penalty issue is a big issue for me. The Jets were first in penalties each of the last 2 years. We were top 5 top 5 in 3 of the last 5 years in penalties. So really not great. With Flores in Miami, they were 29th, 30th, and 14th, which means at worst he's league average, which like feels kind of nice.
it's a
Like
major improvement from where they are, right?
a huge improvement. And like that I can kind of wrap my head around. With Glenn, I feel like he knows how to talk to people. Honestly, the most alarming thing for me with Flores is the 5 OCs in 3 years. And I don't know if like McCown and that pairing would smooth over that because he doesn't have to find an OC. He just comes over with one that he would want. But him not like playing nice in the sandbox with other coaches is something that's probably the biggest of red flags for me.
I think that's fair.
What's up, guys? Matt O'Leary from Talkin' Jets. If you liked that video, please make sure to subscribe and follow for more New York Jets content.